Hi, here's some help on your next blog assignment called Visualizing Amounts. So the assignment says we'll be looking at some data about Broadway shows. Here's the data set. And so you'll need to download this data set on your computer. And the assignment says you're interested in comparing the best Broadway shows for 2 time intervals, okay, which I described there. And you can define what it means to be best in several ways. So you just choose one criterion to be the best show. And then you want to use grouped and stacked bars. That means I like to demonstrate the use of grouped bars and also the use of stacked bars. And you want to compare the best shows for the 2 periods. Now, you should present 4 graphs, 2 graphs like a grouped bar graph and a stacked bar graph, and then 2 additional graphs which improve in the first 2 in some ways. Now, in order to get a sense for these type of graphs, I'm going to take you to this book called Fundamentals of Data Visualization, and there's a section on visualizing amounts. And so this will explain about bar plots. Now, there's nothing about R in this material, so I thought it would be helpful to show you some stuff about R. First thing I wanted to show you is that graphs are an iterative process. And so here I'm going to start exploring these Broadway shows. And in my example, I'm going to use total attendance to be the best show. And I'm going to focus on the period from 2000 to 2008. And so I'll need to filter the data by this time period. I want to look at all the weeks. The weeks, each row corresponds to a week of attendance data. And I'm going to group these weeks by the show name and find the total attendance for each show. And I will display these best attendances by means of a bar graph. Now, there actually are a lot of shows, and so when my first attempt to graph this, I got the show name on the horizontal and the total attendance on the vertical doesn't look very good. So this is a bad graph, and so maybe things would be improved if I put the name on the vertical side and the attendance on the horizontal side. Well, doesn't look much better. There are too many shows, and so I think what I decided to do is only look at the shows that have a certain minimum attendance, total attendance. And once I do that, I get a better looking graph. I only have about 10 or so shows listed. That's pretty good. Now I can start comparing them, but it'd be better if the bars were sorted by total attendance. And so the next graph, I will sort them. And so we see that Lion King is on top and Phantom of the Opera is second and Mamma Mia is third. And last, make this graph a little prettier, I will add more descriptive axis labels and I will add a title. Okay, so that gives you a little explanations for these Broadway data. And next, I thought I'd show you some basic stuff on how to construct bar plots in ggplot2. And I just found an example on the web. I'm just going to illustrate that. So here we have some value which has been categorized by species and condition. And so I first will illustrate a grouped bar graph using ggplot2. And next, I'm going to illustrate a stacked bar graph. Okay. Now, one disadvantage of the stacked bar graph is that it's not the totals in each column are not the same. So maybe I want to talk about percentages of the total. And that's what I have here. This is called a stacked percent bar graph. Another idea is that you might want to compare bar graphs by putting them in different panels or facets. And so I put them in 3 facets are on top of each other here. And another possibility is maybe you want to have them, the 3 facets be side by side. Okay, so hopefully that I provided some help for you, and if you go to the Canvas, you'll see some documents that, like you'll see the Broadway graphs document, and you'll see the corresponding R code, and you'll see the example I just showed you.